The source code for Doom was initially released in December 1997 for non-profit use, but it was later re-released under the GNU GPL license after approximately 2 years. This release led to the creation of a variety of source ports over the years. While the source code was free and open source, the game data was not, as Doom is still a commercial product. So if you don't have a copy of Doom, look no further than this alternative: Freedoom. This project was envisioned by Captain Mello, a user on Doom World, as a content replacement project for Doom and Doom 2. The aim was to create an open source iWAD project that would allow players to enjoy add-ons for Doom without the need to obtain a copy of the game. Which makes sense, considering that not everybody could afford Doom, despite the game costing $5 on digital stores. Additionally, many individuals do not wish to resort to acquiring the iWAD through familiar means. The Doom community quickly became interested, and community members Simon Howard, known as Fraggle, and John Downland, also known as Tepic, soon took the lead in the project in 2001. Prior to this, Fraggle had made contributions to various Deathmatch WADs, and worked on a source port titled Smack My Marine Up, which is a reference to the song Smack My Bitch Up by The Prodigy. Tepic, on the other hand, worked on Doom Legacy mods, and was one of the first individuals to test the TCP/IP support for Doom Legacy and CS Doom. This project looked ambitious due to the size of the main game's iWAD, which is a large file comprising levels, textures, sounds, music, and graphics. When dealing with such a comprehensive package, it becomes evident that a significant amount of work lies ahead. Submissions from many users started pouring in, while a DUTex tree was being worked on, and a web hosting space using DSL connection was provided for the project. For those who may be unfamiliar, DUTex is a WAD tool originally designed for DOS. It is used to decompose and recompose DoomWAD files. Additionally, DUTex includes DUSF, a smaller version designed for merging WAD files. Nowadays, you can generate Freedoom WADs using Python, so have fun with that. Most of the early submissions were focused on textures, with new ones being submitted every day, and by August 2001, the screenshot showed that all the textures in Doom's E1 and 4 was visibly replaced. It is also important to note that while creating textures may be relatively easy, designing sprites for complex elements like player characters and monsters can be more challenging. In light of this, a user named Saint of Killers decided to contribute several sprites for the project. They began by developing handmade sketches, which were then transformed into a complete set of sprites. This ongoing process continues to this day. Additionally, during that time, some monsters were based on 3D models that were converted into sprites for use in the project. Development had slowed down in 2002, but as the project outgrew the DSL web hosting, it made the move to SourceForge. Initially, the project was rejected, but the administrators eventually relented and accepted it on board. A few months later, SourceForge began to complain about the significant amount of bandwidth the project was consuming. It reached a staggering 4 gigabytes per week. In 2003, a spin-off fork titled FreeDM, created by Relic, was in development. It aimed to be a deathmatch-oriented version of Freedoom. However, the FreeDM development was abandoned. Fortunately, Fraggle stepped in and saved the project by merging its work to the main Freedoom tree in 2006. It was during that time when I was a kid and a fanatic for Doom, I first discovered Freedoom thanks to Z Damon, a multiplayer source port for Doom. Submissions continued to slow down over the next few years, and the activity level never returned to the same level as it was during its first few weeks. In 2009, Mike Swanson took over as the maintainer of Freedoom, as Fraggle's interest in the project decreased over time. Tepic would also join as a co-maintainer during this period. Version 0.6 was released, but was later pulled due to the discovery of copyrighted materials. It was found that sounds and music in the release had been plagiarized from Duke Nukem 3D and its mods. As a precaution, the content was removed, considering the likely possibility of the submissions not being legitimate. The project was originally hosted on SourceForge as said earlier, but it was later moved to Savannah in 2008 before eventually settling on GitHub in 2014. Due to the permissive nature of the BSD license, which allows for the reuse of game assets in commercial projects, meaning various companies ported Freedoom to iOS devices. However, these ports had to be released under different names to avoid confusion. Nonetheless, this did not prevent someone from porting an older version of Freedoom to the Android platform. This situation caused significant confusion, prompting Fraggle to clarify that he and the Freedoom team have no association with the port. The project originally aimed for compatibility with Boom-compatible source ports, but eventually shifted its focus towards achieving vanilla compatibility. As it stands, however, Freedoom is currently a limit-removing IWAD as of version 0.11. Currently, Freedoom is available in separate IWADs: Freedoom Phase 1, formerly known as Ultimate Freedoom, and Freedoom Phase 2. Additionally, Free Deathmatch is still available and being updated to this day. It is also worth noting that the 4th episode of Freedoom, named Double Impact, became its own episode replacement WAD for Doom. It even made it to the Bethesda enhanced version of Doom through its add-ons menu. It's intriguing to observe the visual differences that the project showcased from build to build. Examples include super shotguns featuring shell cartridges and rocket launchers with side handles. The 3D rendered enemies also became more polished over time, adding to the overall appeal. All these factors contributed to making the project more interesting and engaging. The monsters in Freedoom also differed from those in Doom. For example, the Revenant was replaced with a demon that casts fireballs. The imps are depicted as serpents, and even the Cyber Demon equivalent appears as a hybrid between the Cyber Demon and the Spider Mastermind. Freedoom can also be used to play user-made add-ons for Doom to a certain extent, although it's worth noting that some mods with custom graphics may be present. What makes projects like Freedoom unique is that while the content is free to use, it manages to have its own distinctive look and feel, almost like it's its own game in some way. That about wraps up this video. What are your thoughts on this project? Don't forget to check out Freedoom in the description below. And as always, peace out.